Nice to see the market up. The bullish counts would be either wave 1 here and 2 here, or 1 here, all of this here, wave 1 and 2. We'll have a look at the bullish counts, we'll have a look at the bearish counts. We'll have a look at the bearish count first on 50k tick here, and now that would bring us up to an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave further up. The A wave here would have some correlation to wave C over here, some sort of equality in some way or another. So I think in both cases we've still got further to move to the upside. On the bullish count we'll look at 20 and 10 and maybe a bit smaller. So this has been our bullish count, as you know, so we're looking at wave 1 here with an ABC for wave 2, and then up for 1 here and 2. Now that as a standalone count is quite good, but it doesn't sort of tie in with the rest of the world as such, but yeah, we'll see. There's two outcomes that can occur here that will needs to push up over here. We'll need to adjust that a little bit. So in this particular instance here, let's just say, we'll take a closer look at this later, but this will come back as an ABC pattern here and then push up from that point. If it's the other pattern here, if I can just go to 10 ticks, this one here, where we've still got wave 2 here, but we've got a whole sort of sequence of a wave 3, 4 and 5 up here. And because I'm thinking this top here would tie in with, well, currencies, other indices like the DAX and the FTSE and the Australian market, even some of the resource stocks and so on. So having a deeper correction at this point, so finding the top. We'll talk about this trend when we do the indices video, and then looking for a deeper move coming in here and then up at that point. So there's two types of pullbacks that we'll need to be mindful of. I won't go into the video now and pull apart this here. We'll do that in the indices video, but that's just giving us that particular move there for that. So rightio. So for the stocks, we've got bearish counts and bullish counts, but obviously the bias is sort of to see a little bit more upside at least. But this has been calling this wave 4 in low here, has been here for quite some time. The move up here hasn't been a very nice count to the upside, but there's different ways to count it to the upside. So I will just mainly look at the bullish counts, I think, in this case. So there's a few different ways to count it, but they all pretty much lead to the same thing, and that's further upside. So on the 20k here, so this is looking at it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then putting all that as wave 5 there. I don't think that's the case. I think we need to drop that back over here if we're going to do that particular count, then look at this as 1, 2, 3. So we'll look at that in a bit more detail, but just shooting the breeze here really, so don't get all sort of fidgety about it. So it's pushed up like we wanted it to push up. We can just sort of move these to the side a little bit. So yesterday, and that we're looking at it as possible 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So that kind of fits quite nicely. Then we would look at this here as also 1 and 2 here again. So this count fits quite nicely in the scheme of things here. So we'd look for wave 3 up here and a 4 here and a 5 up here for the third wave as such there. So that count works, and I think I've got another one on this 1 and 5 here. Now I've been accused of having too many counts and confusing people, but all of these counts are in the same direction, so I don't see it such a big deal. It's just just got to wait for the penny to drop to see which is the right one. So in this case here, it's looking at 1 and 2 and 3 here, nice strong third wave, fourth here, and a fifth wave here, because I've got 5 waves in this little section, and then I've got 5 in this section. In fact, that can actually drop into here as well. So then looking at this as 1 and 2 and then 3. And it's not too bad of a count really, because it's basically expanding to the upside. We're currently at the 61.8%, 50 is 61, 62% there from previous top. So yeah, it's looking quite good. obviously this, if it's going to fail, this is where it's going to fail from. So that will be sort of interesting, but we'll just see how it pushes further to the upside. I'm just going to have a look at the bearish count that I've got here. The bearish count's also, the bearish count's a little bit, because, it's a bit tricky, this count, because I've got 5 waves in here, then I can look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into here and pull back, and then this move here. So I suppose I could link them all together to a point if I moved that over to there. But anyway, what we'll see up here further is this is 1 and 2 here, and still pushing higher. Here's probably a few more little highs to go into this one here. So as a bearish pattern, this won't fail right here, but it'll fail a little bit higher to the upside. Here, I just want to have a look at the 100 ticks to see where we were yesterday with this. Okay, I thought I'd fix this up a little bit. Just go back a bit further. I just want to get in that low there. Okay, this is counting this one up as 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Not too bad of a count, but the problem with this fast move here is definitely part of a third wave. So I'll need to sort of work at that this is some sort of third wave here in this instance. So yesterday we were looking at the climb here as 1 and 2. Thought I'd done this here, so that's going to be, put that out of the way for the moment. We might need to put this here, because this really strong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here is definitely some sort of third there, you know. So we'll just plonk that in there. And that, I need to pull that apart, but it looks kind of like this here. So that can pull back a little bit further. That would still leave me with this, and this. And do I have a 5th wave here? Oh yeah, there it is. That can go there. And that would give me wave 5 here of 3. And then we'll have wave 4. And then we'll have wave 5 up to the 150, 148 sort of area up that way. So I don't think this trend is finished to the upside, but it will take reprieve here. As I mentioned with the bullish weekly cycle, if Friday closes strong, then Monday's going to follow through on that, and Tuesday we'll start seeing a little bit of weakness here. But you normally see profit taking Tuesday morning, and then the trend resuming after Tuesday in the afternoon session, and then the swing days start to happen on the Wednesday and the Thursday. So they're kind of all fitting in for these wave 4s and so on here. So that's where Apple is at the moment. So having a low in place as a wave 4 is coming back to the bigger picture here for a moment, just on the daily chart here. Calling the low in here and just observing the turn on this and seeing it move up. There's still a way to go yet, but the fact that it's, a market's normal that it will drop down lower, find support, and then go back up and check supply again. And, it's like a river, always checking the weaker spot to move forward on. So, it's not that this is set in stone, this whole move down here as a WXY, as a wave 4. But one would say it's looking quite good, especially when I compare it to, what we're looking at with the S&P and other markets around the place. So, I think, I've been calling the markets in bullish for a little while now, and that's based on the currencies, on the US dollar and what I'm seeing in the euro and the pound, and then converting those particular counts into some of the indices like in Europe and in Asia. We're just not seeing the S&P do the same thing as the DAX. It's normally the other way around. The S&P will lead and the DAX will sort of follow and catch up and do all sorts of of things, but not the case in this instance. So Amazon here, once again, we're calling this in as a low here, and I've been a bit excited about this because we could count a reasonable 5 waves up here. It got a little bit messy towards the top, but apart from that, just the fact of having that impulse there, it would, even in a bearish sense, would give us some sort of ABC before coming down again, you know. And, you know, bear markets do that, you know, they bounce off bottoms and rally and give everybody a hope, and then they crush their hopes, and, you know, that's the market's the boss, and that's what it does. So it's possible to do something like this, but because we've got 5 here, we'll get another 5 over here. That's the bottom line with this. But at the same time, 1 is the strongest number, and see how volatile it got here before and how strong it was here when it came down and hit the concrete and bounced. Well, I think really bounced as much off concrete, but yeah, so, you know, it won't be easy climbing over this. It will be a little bit volatile. I'm just going to go into the 20k and maybe just work our way in a little bit on this. Okay, that's not much. Okay, so on the 5k, I've got it like this as well, 1 and 2 here, and looking for 1 and 2 and building to the upside here. I try to consider, you know, because a lot of the markets around the world has got this as wave 4, so I try to consider this 1 and 2 here, and then all of this, the 3rd wave and the 4th here and the 5th wave, because that makes a little bit more sense to me. And one of the things here is, you know, the normal classic trading levels pattern, the market would be like this, you know. So having this as a wave 4 here, going up this as a wave 4 here, going up for wave 5, kind of makes a little bit of sense. You know, I get this particular pattern here, this arrival, the reaction for wave 4, and then up for wave 5. So I'm hoping we get something like this over here to give us that particular setup. But based on these 5 waves here already, we will be going up. So where you buy doesn't really matter. It just depends on you know, what you're trying to do. You know, if you're using leverage, if you know how big the bet size is to your capital, all of these things, folks tend to overtrade. That's pretty much the first mistake, overtrading the size of your capital. Anyway, I'm not here to preach. Let's just we're here to enjoy ourselves, so lay down those bets. So this is where we were yesterday, and this is the bearish count on 1000 ticks, so an up here for an A wave, B wave, and a C wave further up. So there'll be some sort of relationship between wave A and C if it is bearish. But yeah, no, all looking quite good here in all of this. So, you know, we'll have to put wave 1 up here somewhere and pull back into this. I'll just check on the 100 ticks for this. This is, I think I rearranged this a little bit. I mean, we had it going up as an impulsive wave, but I sort of changed it a little bit. I mean, I really don't like those sort of spiky things. I would have normally put that just in here like this. Probably drop that down 1 more to here. Probably would have dropped that down to here, leaving this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. But it's not going to make any difference with this. It'll still leave me wave 4 here. I was looking for wave 5 here, even though it's not very good here. I probably need to look at this as an A and a B, but that's the 5 waves here. But anyway, my wave 4's come in nicely, so I'm not going to complain, but I will mull that over a little bit. If it's going to be an ABC, that would be it there, so we can kind of move those dudes. No, we don't need those. So yeah, we're left with an impulse, but in one way or another, we'll be looking for that wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. So the other way you can approach this, the way I like, if you're kind of confident the market will go up, then we know that if I put in 100 the major trading level, and then we've got 1 here, so 1, 2 and 3 roughly. So we know that coming into this number, the first swing will be in these numbers here. So when you think about it, if you think the market's going to be going up here further, then, you know, having small positions at different prices here at each dollar or whatever you want to do is not such a bad thing. And with the understanding that you know that it's going to be vibrating in here and you need to give it some space, you know. Just like when your wife's angry at you. You've got to stay clear. Figure out what you've done wrong. Okay, right, that's Amazon. So those Apple and Amazon are sort of bullish, and we know Nvidia's been bullish. We've been counting this up here quite nicely. So we're looking at 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and we're looking for wave 5 to move up. It has moved up quite strong. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, but you know, I could look at this a little bit differently and look at these all of 1s and 2s here, or not that it makes any difference as 1 and 2 here, and look at this as part of a third wave up here. That's going to move up a little bit further, but we're going to be dancing at the 190 there for a little bit for that, and then we'll push up. So let me just, yeah, that's going to push up there further. I don't want to put it as a wave 5. I'm not comfortable with it like that, but I'll just keep an eye on it. We're going in the right direction. So once again here you can look at well, going long here is not such a great thing to do really, because we're going to get this pullback here. We're going to see some sort of dance across here. We also need to, I think we're okay. Let me just have a look at the daily chart here for a moment. Or even 20, let me see. I mean, this is the bullish count here, so but kind of like that. We're definitely going up high. We're definitely going further up. So if you're long, that's good. There will be, it will stall at 200 for a bit. I mean, on the bearish side, we have to kind of also consider, you know, because we've come down a long way. We also have to consider an ABC pattern here of much the same length from here to here. That sort of length here. I mean, because we've got 5 here, we could look over here and get 5 over here and call a low in, you know, 61.8% back and all of that sort of stuff. But now what we need to see here, because if let's just go to the bearish count for a moment, just talk about this for a second. The bearish count would be, well, up here. That's where the target is here. But one of the things that I normally look for straight away in a C wave going up is I normally look at the speed of the A wave here, and then I always look for a lazier C wave here. So that's the speed of that. So I'm normally looking for something a little bit lazier, but we're not really seeing that laziness there, are we? We're seeing it, you know, pretty much cranking up pretty strongly there. So it's behaving like a third wave and not a C wave. But we just need to keep an eye on it. You know, it doesn't hurt. You know, we just use Elliott to help us with the direction. It comes down to money management and trade setups. And, you know, we need to be aware of both sides, and you know, that's what I said I wanted to do a bit more this year. I didn't want to get sort of stuck on one side of the market. I think that's a little bit, because it's a discretionary sort of, Elliott's discretionary in a way. So, I mean, people that don't understand it would say that it's discretionary, or even half understand it. But the people that are in love with it don't see it like that. But there are times when you know, and there's times when you don't know. And at all stages, it's always healthy to look at both sides of the market. And anyway, that will move up to 200. And Meta Platforms is another one as well that we can look at all of this whole move down as an A wave, and we can be going up for a B wave. Or we can look at the whole move down as an ABC and have it a wave 2 in place here. Either way, we're going to be going further up. So as I've mentioned before, we'll hit the 150, we'll be doing a little bit of a dance across there, and not sure how big the swings will be, but we'll see it at higher ground. Now, coming up into all of this space here is you know, the supply up here, so above the 165 it'll start here, I reckon 165 to 180. 165, 172 and 180. But yeah, there's different ways to view this in terms of a bearish count to the upside, and there's also the bullish sides to look at all of this at the moment. But I think we'll just stay with the bullish side. But in the meantime, the bottom line here is that we're tracking 5 waves from in here, moving up here, so we'll hit this. We'll hit the 50, the 150, and then we'll pull back, and then we'll push up above it. So it'll be a bit of a classic trading levels pattern coming up into all of this here. It'll be something like this here. There'll be some swings in here. I don't know how much. I'm probably overreacting with that, but it's going to, you know, just to be, you know, because once you're in the trend, you don't really want to get out, and you know, you don't want to be stopped out by putting your stop too close. That means you put too much money in there. You know, you need to ride. If you're going to make money, you have to ride a few dips out. You know, you can't be scared of holding things. So let's just go to the 20, and we'll just look at a couple of different ways we could look at this as bullish. Now, I think that it's possible to count this as 1 to here, so that would leave wave 2 to here, and then looking at this as 1, or we can take the whole lot up to here. It counts quite nicely as wave 1 up here. But the thing, and I have pulled all this apart a lot, but the thing I don't really like as wave 1 here and prefer it here is because of the size of wave 4 here. It sort of throws it out compared to wave 2. So there's different ways to look at it, but as I've probably mentioned before, the move up through here we're tracking as 5 waves, and we can see we've got 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and 4 in here, and we're going up for wave 5. Now, just because I've got wave 1 here, that means diddly squat, okay? It doesn't matter. It's just really for me to giving me sort of ideas, but it's probably more of a 3rd wave. I mean, if I took it from here, for instance, and then looked at this here as wave 1 and 2 here, for example, and then this would be wave 3 here, and wave 4 when it gets to there, and then wave 5. And so there's different ways to build it up, and just, you know, I'm just looking at the best way to sort of count it. It'll fall into place, but on the 10,000 where I've got alternative count. So this is another way to count it: 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then 3rd, 4th, and moving up into that space. It doesn't really matter. It's going to do the same thing. It needs to navigate that 150, finding it as resistance and then support. So it should move up with the rest of the markets. I don't know what I've got on 5K. Yeah, this is a nice count too. So we may fall short there a little bit of that 150. Oh no, there's nothing really stopping it there. Should suck it straight up. So should be okay at that point. Just see, I've got here. Another way to count. Oh, that's the bearish count. But the main thing is here, you know, we've been looking at this as wave 4, so we need to see this is still building here. This is all building. So this is that's this strong bar here. That's half of the trend. So we need the other half here. So we've still got further to go up. Okay, this is a slightly different count to look at it with this wave 4, but from that point there, as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then we can start going into the 3rd trend, 3rd wave here. So it's just going up further. 144, we don't see that much. That's always important in the bigger picture, in geometry terms, but in terms of the trading levels, we want support on 143, of course, and that will take us to 145. 145, 145. Yeah, and then 148 up here, and then we're into group 2 here. So 14650 is going to be the resistance there, and then 14720 in there for group 2 in that little space. So you know, I mean, they're kind of, it's good to know the levels. The 144, I'm just going to remove that, but that's where Fibonacci and Gann meet there in terms of numbers. It's not a big deal, not a lot of difference between the numbers really, between those two, those guys, when you think about it. Yeah, so will we push up? I mean, that's pretty much it there. I think we'll continue to climb on this one, so that's all good. And Netflix, so yeah, we're just, everything's pretty good here. That will just continue to move up toward above 400. That will just continue to move up. We can go to the 100 ticks and just pull that apart a little bit in here. So looking at it like this, so we got that nice third wave up yesterday, which we were looking for, so that's nice. And yeah, so that will probably push up here even further at that point. Not quite finished, but it'd be nice if this wave 3 and 4 play out in here. I just don't know if it's going to get there. I mean, there's the 65 number, but 365 is going to cause a bit of problems. But if it can just get up there and sit on that 65, that 365, then you're in group 2 at that point, and you're on your way. But anyway, that's all looking pretty rosy. And Enphase here, so we were calling the low in here yesterday, so that's didn't quite get it. We got that extra little spike down there, but I don't know why that occurred. Not quite sure. Taking stops out, I guess. Anyway, the turn is occurring, and probably got little 5 waves here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so we could put this in here. So that, just on that basis, we're looking okay at that point, you know. I mean, it's not over until the big lady sings, but so that means we've got 1 here and 2 here. What we'll be looking for next is trying to get, I mean, because we could just get an A and a B and a C here and go down at that point, but what we want to try to get is 5 waves up here, because if we get 5 waves up here, then we'll have a correction, and we know that we'll get another 5, and that way we know we're ready to go. So the next trade that we put in here, I mean, this was really high risk, but that's just, you know, but the next trade would be looking for this move up here in 5 waves, say to the somewhere up here, and then looking back for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. I'm probably drawing it too big, and then going long above that. But even the fact of having 5 waves here, you can buy back in, you know, in the 50-60% retracement level over here as well. So that's where you can pick your second position up from. You can put your stop in here, under here now for that, because that little capitulation, or whatever you want to call it, is occurred. I said I'd have a look at the bigger picture. I just didn't get some time, but we'll just see if we get 5 waves up here, and then we can look at the bigger picture. Tesla moved off nicely, so we're tracking this up. I'll just stay on the 1000 ticks here. We're looking at it as an A wave, a B wave, or a C wave up here for a larger wave 4, or we can look at it as a low in place in here. Already it's finished, and we can look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2, which I kind of like. We'll see how, I mean, to call the low in like it's finished, then we would need to see 1, 2, 3, which we're into now, and then 4, and then 5. So then we would need, once we get 5 here, anything above that, and we're good to go at that point. We've got to, we can call the low in at that point. But in the meantime, we've just got to be a little bit patient. We've just been working through this, so I'll just keep on doing that. So from that point, I'll just borrow these. looks like a little 1 and 2 in here, but this will probably really need to go all the way up here. So we're still a little way away from all of this. Anyway, up to the 150, the 140, all the same things here, 145, 148, and when you talk about 148, you got group 2 in there, so the 148 will start creating the wave 4s in all of that, so that's all good. Alphabet here, we were looking, I think we were in here yesterday with wave 4, so we're looking for wave 5 to push up here, so that's all going quite nicely at this point. When that, I haven't pulled that apart here, but when it does top out here, we'll see an ABC pattern here for wave 4, and then we'll see wave 5 up here, probably 103 maybe, and then a larger ABC pattern here, and this is where it'll either turn bullish or bearish from that point coming up through there as well. Because if we've got this as wave B down here, then all of this up to this point will be wave C, you know. So we'll need to move past that. I mean, it's part of the communications sector here, which we've been looking at. And yeah, I'll need to pull that apart, and I'll just see, because I know I've got 5 waves here, so I know how to correction. We'll get another 5 over here, but I'm just wondering if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and finishing here. Kind of want to move, because basically, as I've mentioned before with this, we can have it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, and then come down. But if we can get past the 5 waves up here, wherever they go to, get past, count the 5 waves, and anything above that, then that's going to put us in a whole nother category at that stage, you know. So that's something that I'll just need to work on in the background. That's Alphabet and Microsoft. So as I mentioned yesterday, I like Microsoft as a buy because it's behind the GPT, the transformers, the general transformers, supplying the servers and capital. Basically, it's kind of owning it in a way. So it's going to be a good thing for Microsoft. It's going to take it into the next generation. But anyway, apart from that waffle, I think we're looking okay here for this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. A bit short on the 3rd, 4th, 5th here, so I could possibly do that. Somebody will need to double check this, but I don't think we're too far off here for that. 1, 2. I think we've still got one more little move up here for that, and that up to the 250. This obviously we're in this box here will be a 50-60% retracement level, so it's going to, you know, hit it at the 50, so then it's gone through the 50 now, so I'll probably have a bit of trouble at the 61.8% plus the trend lines and all of that. So 248, needs to climb on 245, and then got 248 plus with group 2 in there as well. Old birdie here is ready to go, as we talked about yesterday, so that should, I want to see 5 waves here. You know, I think that I'm getting them. I think we got them. But yeah, if this count is right with 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2, then this is, you know, the green light's on here for this. So we've got, you know, we're down here, and still you can set the stochastics any way that you want, but to tune them in with the highs and lows is good. So how fast is that actually going compared to the trend? Well, about the same. It should be okay then. Yeah, we'll end up. So that's a buy at this point. So I'll leave you to handle that if you want that. And block. So what we want to do with this market here, because because we don't have a beautiful 5-wave structure here for this one here, you can count it as 5 waves. That's not beautiful as 5 waves. This is a rather big correction here. If we were going to put it as wave 2 here, that means that you know, there's 2 things here. It's not a beautiful 5 waves. The correction as a wave 2 is rather big. As a B wave, it's perfect. You know, so there's a strong case for the A, the B here in this instance, you know, but it should follow the banks to the upside. So we need to look at, it means because this is not clear, we need a stronger case to go long over here. Now, we counted up here as, you know, as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and looking for wave 5, and wave 5 is really hooted along, so that's nice. I haven't pulled this apart. I'm not going to worry about pulling it apart. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the first high above the level. That's what we want, just very simple terms. And then that's where we'll go long from. And of course, we'll also possibly look for the B wave here to drop that down to here. All of that, we want that number, the 80, tested at this point, you know. So there's no rush, but we're getting closer to where we need to be with that. Bank of America. So yeah, based on this little 5-wave structure here, I mean, it's got that spike in there, but still, we're looking for wave 1 here and wave 2. So this is moving up. Everything's going according to plan here. This is turning. Everything is good. So this is also a buy here as well in this case. So there'll be a couple of things here. I mean, it will go up and hit the high here and then pull back. So the pullback could be the interesting part here. So we could have a look at that to see if we can get a 3-wave move within that to go up from that point. Or you can just go along here, but you'll now need to leave the stop under here, you know, whatever you decide to do at this particular point. But we'll have a closer look at this when this plays out a bit more here. But anyway, that's that. And if that's the case, then we'll see this push up, you know, above the 40. So that's all pretty exciting, that point. This is just the gold miners here, the GDX. So just basically 1 and 2, 3, 4 going up for 5 and then pulling back and going up higher. It may run away on me and continue to go up based on US spot gold. But yeah, I think it's okay. It's going to be a slight difference between US spot gold. Anyway, that's not part of this video. That's something else. So thanks for tuning in. Cheers.